Okay, so today I'm going to be ranking the Gen 1 Pokemon um, by their in-game performance. Whatever game they perform the best in is going to be most of what I judge them off of, but obviously, if Pokemon's good, if Pokemon's good in a bunch of games, that's going to give it points. But if it's only good in one game, I mean, I'll still count it. But obviously, you're mostly going to be considering the Kanto games well, I guess the JoJo games have a lot of them too, but it's going to be pretty personalized. It's nothing that strict. Just what I think about them. I'm not trying to be too objective. Just my perspective is kind of objective, I guess. So starting with Bulbasaur. He's pretty good in red and blue for, all the Gen 1 mechanics, the Razor Leaf crit and everything, give him Body Slam. He's alright. A lot of the starters, well, he's probably the best starter in red and blue. Fire Red Leaf Green. Fire Red Leaf Green. He's like okay. He's not the worst starter. All the starters are kind of bad in Fire Red and Leaf Green. All the Pokemon are kind of bad in Fire Red and Leaf Green. But you do get him immediately. He is going to kill Brock for you. All the stuff you already know. I think he's got, well, no. I can put him in A. Charmander fucking sucks. He doesn't learn any good moves. You're probably using Ember until you get Fire Blast from Blaine in Gen 1. Probably not using Flamethrower to level 40 or something. It's really late. Fire Red and Leaf Green, you're just using oh, it's so terrible. For so long, you just have a fucking Charmeleon with Mega Punch and or Mega Kick. And he's just not good. He's just so mediocre always. Once you finally get Charizard, he can be pretty good. I used him in yellow, he's pretty good. Obviously in Gen 6, I'm not going to be taking Gen 6 into account too much because Gen 6 is so easy that all the Pokemon are good. Gen 1, I mean, he's definitely better in Red and Blue because he had Slash and Fire Spin, but also, you get Metal Claw on him in Fire Red and Leaf Green, supposed to be for Brock, but Brock has Rock Tomb now, so he just kills your Charmander. Even if he's Charmeleon, he'll probably take one Rock Tomb, and he's dead. He's pretty terrible, honestly. Not completely useless, but once you get him to Charizard, he's good, but that's the end of the game pretty much. You're ending the game level 50s at best. And he's just pretty terrible the entire time. Squirtle, he's the most okay Pokemon. He uses his water moves, he uses his dark moves. Well, Bite. Like every fucking water type that's ever existed, he uses Surf, he uses Blizzard, he uses nothing else. Even if you want to, it's funny because this is when I started doing math. I don't know, playing this game when I was 18 or something. A stab, super effective bite against a psychic type is equally as effective as a, hold up, what was it? Because it's 120. No, the stab surf is obviously better, but no, here's what it is. Even though water is resisted by water, it's still better to just use your surf against a water type, even though it's resisted, because your stab basically just cancels it out. You get your 95 attack versus your 60 from bite. So anything below 80 attack power, even if super effective, completely useless. Which is why you use surf and use blizzard, but he is a water type. He does use surf and he does use blizzard, and that is good. Caterpie gotta be S tier. If you don't think he's S tier, you're fucking wrong. More specifically, Butterfree gotta be S tier. Um, Pretty much entirely for fire red and leaf green. Because he gets compound eyes, sleep powder, and he's fast enough to almost always go first. Sleep powder is like 100% accurate, but, and this is the thing most people don't mention, the Dream Eater tutor in what is it, Viridian City that you have to cut to get to. This is the only Pokemon that's actually useful on, because he's a reliable sleep, he's fast, and he's getting that 120 power psychic move basically for free. He'll carry it for like a long time. He does fall off by like the 8th gym in Elite Four, but even then he's still like okay. He's still gonna use sleep powder. He's still often gonna go first. But he'll carry you for so long. Carry you for Brock all the way up until like 7th, 8th gym and then Elite Four. He's so good. Beedrill, total garbage. I have tried to use a Beedrill in I think it was yellow. And then, honestly, I've used quite a few of these Pokemon in the earlier generation games. You know, the earlier generation it is, the more games have been in, the more opportunity there is to use them. Typically, we'll get to you. But Beedrill, now I will say, in Gen 6, he was better than you would expect him to be, because his special defense is actually kind of good. And by Gen 6, I mean, he's getting X-Scissor, he's getting Poison Jab. He's not completely worthless in Gen 6. Oras gives him the Mega Evolution, but he's the worst Mega Evolution in the entire game, the entire series. It's just a terrible Mega. Sucks ass. If you're trying to use him in yellow, you know, everyone likes to talk about he does eventually get Twin Needle, the only okay bug move in Gen 1, but really what you're using for most of the game is Fury Attack, and it's a really shitty Fury Attack. He just sucks. He's just annoying to use. The best thing you're going to do with him is like Poison Sting. I do know my brother, he was telling me about a run he did once where Beedrill was kind of his ace for Brock, because he just poisoned with Poison Sting and then just hardened over and over and over. Unfortunately, that is not enough to get him to C tier. He's still just so bad. Pidgey, I like the sprite, but you're going in D tier. Completely worthless. Basically does nothing the whole game. The best thing you're ever going to do with him is use a low-level Pidgeot. What is it? Pidgeotto. They can get in a Viridian Forest in yellow. Get like a level 7 one. By that point in the game, he's got like pretty good bulk. And a stab 40 base power move is enough, you know, to two-shot a lot of stuff. He'll be okay. He'll be like a reliable, you know, damage sponge for a while. You know, up through Misty probably. But even then, he's not that good. We might end up moving him up to C at some point, just because he does have A use. But for now, I'm keeping it at D. And as a side note, this is just a tangent. So these are the Emerald, Ruby, and Sapphire sprites, right? So my brother had given me a like a bootleg Pokemon Fire Red, and this was back when we were like, I don't know, maybe 11, 12. Well, I was. He's older. And for whatever reason, this bootleg Fire Red and Leaf Green used the fucking Ruby and Sapphire sprites, which was the weirdest shit to me. Because I did notice it then. Because I noticed, like, that they, well, it's not on here, but the Fire Red Leaf Green Pidgey sprite was, like, iconic to me, so I noticed when this was different. But I don't understand how that fucking happens, because you have to change that intentionally, right? Like, there's no... Which makes me... It makes me think maybe it was like some kind of weird ROM hack of like Emerald version or something that just made it Fire Red and Leaf Green, but that would seem so weird. But then, like, why would you ever change the sprites to the Ruby and Sapphire sprites? They're not even that different. A lot of them are the exact same. Like, most of them are the exact same. So how does that happen? How does that change? I don't know. That's a complete tangent, though. Here's the shittiest Rattata sprite I've ever seen in my life. I do actually kind of like it. Rattata, I do have a soft spot for him. He's not that good, though. He's, like, kind of usable. I got a shiny one once, so I used him through the game in a Fire Red Leaf Green. He's just usable enough that I'm gonna put him at like bottom of C tier. Like he gets hyper beam, stab hyper beam, okay. Super Fang, Hyper Fang, okay. He's barely okay. I don't think it's that much different in red and blue. You could probably use a special more in red and blue. One thing that you will notice, it might actually not come up that much in this tier list, but the enemy Pokemon are so much weaker in red and blue with just the way the game mechanics work, that a lot of these Pokemon are a lot better in red and blue. Which honestly, that makes Beedrill even worse, because he's even dog shit in fucking red and blue. He's terrible, man. But Rattata, he's there. Fearow, worse than everyone talks about him. I don't know, I put him in D. I guess he'll go in C. You can kill stuff in Viridian Forest. You can kill whatever grass type you're wanting to kill. People talk about him being like, oh, this is better Pidgey because he has more attack and more speed. But he doesn't have enough more attack and more speed to make any difference. Honestly, the bulk on Pidgey might be better because you're probably still like three-shotting things most of the time. God fucking forbid you try to use something like this in Heart Gold Soul Silver. I'm noticing already like Gold and Silver aren't coming up that much, but I think the main reason for that is, I mean, Gold and Silver sucks, is I guess my main point. But you can use something like Fearow a lot easier in Red and Blue, and Fire Red and Leaf Green, because you're ending at like level 45, level 50. You have to go to fucking Red in Gold and Silver, and if you try to take something like Fearow to Red, you're fucking miserable, dude. He's so bad. But, you know, as is, using Red and Blue, he's got flying moves, if you want that. Ekans, ooh, he's so bad. Oh, the one thing that I will note about him is Heart Gold Soul Silver, or I guess Soul Silver. He's a version exclusive in that one. You can have a little fun with him because he gets Intimidate, Glare, and then you can teach him Headbutt. Then he can have Bite or whatever, and then you're just like, you know, coming out intimidating and then para-flinching stuff. Which, if your team kind of sucks, which it very well might in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, that can be a little fun. He does okay. Not okay enough to go into C tier. He's going to drop off terribly. I didn't complete that run with him, so I can't speak too harshly. I've never actually... No, he evolved into Arbok. I don't think I beat that run, but he did evolve into Arbok at some point. But he's pretty bad. Pretty fucking bad. Can't put him above D. Pikachu. So he's dog shit in yellow. Don't even bother. I know he's sad when you put him in the PC box, but he deserves it. Alright, so I just checked. Yeah, so I just checked. And Pikachu doesn't even naturally learn Thunderbolt in Red and Blue. It's only in Yellow, where he sucks anyways. So he's kind of useful in Fire Red and Leaf Green. He's still like the only thing that naturally learns Thunderbolt in Fire Red and Leaf Green. At a pretty early level, too. But, doesn't get in Red and Blue. All he can fucking do is like Thunderbolt and Thunder Wave. I might end up moving him down to C tier. But, I mean, using Thunderbolt, going fast, using Thunderbolt, that is still better than what Charmander does for 90% of the game. So I'll keep him in B. You're noticing this is a very bottom-heavy tier list so far. We'll see if it stays that way. Sandshrew. Sandshrew. He's okay. You know, Red and Blue, he's not learning any ground-type moves naturally. You have to spend your Dig TM on him. Dig is real strong in that game. Fire Red and Leaf Green's even worse because Dig is nerfed, and I think he still just doesn't learn any ground moves. Slash is like, you know, it's auto crit and whatever, but I mean, it's not in Red and Blue. Auto crit Slash, no stab. That's like 140 attack power. Dig, stab. That's 150 with the chance to crit on top of that. So you're still just digging anyways. But he does do damage. he is pretty bulky, so I at least have to put him above Raichu. I'm honestly thinking he's going in A tier, because while he is very boring, he digs. He loves to dig, so pretty useful. Weird fucking Nidoran female sprite. I'm not sure I've ever actually really tried to use a Nidoran female. I might have gotten like to early with it, but Nidoran male is just better, other than not getting body slam. So I guess we'll rank Nidoran male first. Let's go with Nidorino. I like Nidorino. Obviously, well, he's not as good as people say in Fire Red and Leaf Green. Um, yeah, he does learn Dig in that game, I believe. So he does get that stab ground, but it's a weak stab ground. He gets Thrash, but it's the 90 base power Thrash. I mean, Fire and Leaf Green, he's still one of your better options, but you know, Pokemon Yellow. I mean, he's the true starter of Yellow, right? That's like what everyone picks. That's what I did as a kid, which was like sacrilegious to me at the time. You know, your starter's supposed to be your highest level Pokemon, but Pikachu was just kind of there for the principle of it. He wasn't actually useful. So just for his use in Yellow, I mean, he's super fucking good in Red, Blue, and Yellow, but especially Yellow. You have to use him in Yellow. Even better than Butterfree. But Nidoran female, I don't believe. Yeah, I think you can get him in Yellow. I mean, he's largely the same, just a little less attack, a little more defense. The defense is probably nice because he's kind of bulky as is. Body slam's nice. I mean, he's still perfectly fine. I believe he also gets double kick. If not for Yellow, I mean, that brings him down quite a bit because I mean, you want that for Brock, but you don't have to discount him just for his Yellow performance. I don't even fucking know if you can get him in Yellow. Clefairy and Clefable. Let's rank these motherfuckers first. Jigglypuff, Wigglytuff. Obviously, Wigglytuff, awesome. He does the Yumta. Unfortunately, in the game, he really sucks. He just has high HP, no other good stats. Even if you give him a bunch of good TMs, he's still gonna suck. It's really disappointing. Like, you can't make a good use of him ever. Clefable is just like a little bit better. He just has better special attack. I believe base Clefairy has a higher base stat total than Wigglytuff, which is very sad. But Clefable, I mean, he just uses fucking TMs, Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, whatever. They give him a normal move just to have it, Body Slam or something. He's pretty fucking boring, not that good, but he can be okay, which is why he is at C tier. I would say he's actually much better than all these motherfuckers. Put him in B tier. It's begrudgingly putting him in B tier. I really just hate his design, is the big thing. Clefairy's not too bad, but Clefable just sucks. One of my least favorite Gen 1 Pokemon out of any of them. But he's pretty useful. Gotta give him that. Vulpix, Ninetales. It's Gen 1, he really sucks ass. He's just using like Ember, like I gave him Swift. I had to like badge boost with double team and kill with Swift, and that was what he did until he got Flamethrower and Fire Blast. Honest to God, really fucking terrible, not worth it at all. But once he gets his fire move, he is using Flamethrower, so he's at least C tier. You know, just don't use him until yeah, just don't use him. He's pretty bad, but he can eventually have a use, so I can't put him down in D. So yeah, this doesn't go to F. Zubat. Crobat's not on here. We're gonna count Crobat because this is where like most of these guys either they're better in Gen 1 or their outside of Gen 1 appearance isn't too notable. But Zubat's one of those Pokemon that's like Gen 1's his worst showing, and then every other game is way better. Gen 2, obviously Crobat. I haven't used him in Gold and Silver actually, but he's pretty good in Soul Silver. You kind of feels like his attack's a little lacking even still, but he does get good moves. Very, very fast. I mean, he's pretty solid. Gen 3. Now, obviously, I never bothered to use him in Fire Red Leaf Green because you can't get Crobat in that game. But I also don't play Emerald that much, so I haven't used a Zubat in that game. So I haven't used a Crobat in Gen 3 really at all. I used one in Gen 7. You know, he's always pretty solid. I mean, he's Platinum, pretty solid. He's pretty solid. Bite, good move. Don't use him in Gen 1. Very, very bad idea. We don't have the Gen 2 evolutions. I guess, okay, well, fuck it. We'll just do the Gen 2 evolutions in the Gen 2 video. Oddish. Actually fucking horrible. You'd think he'd be okay, but he's actually fucking horrible. His stats are just not there. He's on Fire Red and Leaf Green. Even with Giga Drain, 60 base power, 5 PP Giga Drain, Dark Times. Gen 1's even worse, all you get is Mega Drain. But even that's not enough, even against like ground types, water types. It's not doing very much damage. His best poison move that he's going to get, going off of his attack stat instead of his special attack stat, it's going to be Acid. Other than that, he gets nothing. He's not even that bulky. I remember having this realization when I was using Vileplume in Fire Red and Leaf Green. So in Fire Red and Leaf Green, you get the Attract TM, right? And Attract, no matter what Pokemon you put it on, is basically always equally as useful. You use Attract and you hope to stall. But what I've noticed is if you're ever considering putting Attract on a Pokemon's moveset, that means they're garbage. Because that means everyone else has something that they're doing, and this is your guy who has nothing to do, and so you're like, oh, well, maybe I could get him some use with Attract. Why not throw it on him? He doesn't have anything else. Might as well throw it on him. So if you're ever thinking to yourself, maybe I should put Attract on this Pokemon, that means the Pokemon is dog shit, and maybe you should use a different Pokemon. He's actually fucking horrible. So bad. Hate him. Anyway, Paris for QS2. He's really bad, but he does learn Cut and Dig, and I believe Flash, and he has Tiny Mushroom when you catch him, which is Heart Scale and Fire Red and Leaf Green. Very, very bad, though. I've never actually tried to use one for very long. Spore is funny, but he is slow, so he's not using it. His damage is bad. Even aside from the typing, he's very frail. So, gonna have to say D tier, but he's much better than these motherfuckers. Like, if I'm putting your fully evolved form in D tier, I think that's when you know you're really bad. Venonat, I'm gonna say he's actually really dog shit. So, the only game really getting Venonat early enough to be useful is Yellow. You get him on the Nugget Bridge route. He's so much worse than you would think, because he's just using Tackle forever. And even once he gets, Confusion or whatever, his attack, his, special attack is just, he's just dog shit. You're just sitting there, 6-hit KOing shit forever. And he has enough bulk to where, you can take out one Pokemon doing that, but it's just going to take ages. He's not, I don't like him. He's very bad. You'd think he'd be kind of good, and maybe if you use him in, Emerald or something, but again, I think the earliest you can get an Emerald is Safari Zone. I'm not even sure you can get it in Safari Zone. Like I say, I don't play Emerald a lot. But it's still too late, man, for a bug poison. I am 100% a believer that Venonat was supposed to evolve into Butterfree. 1,000%. Look at him. Diglett. Fun fact about Diglett, base 10 HP. Very, very frail. But he do be using ground moves real quick. I can't say I've ever used a Diglett for the entire game. No, I think I might have once, but he's man. I feel like you gotta put him with Sandshrew at least, because he's fast and uses Dig, but honestly, Sandshrew is fast enough and uses Dig. And in Gen 1, that's good enough. Dig is a good enough move. But I mean, you could say the fact you can get one for free right before the electric gym, and the fact that you can get a evolved form. I mean, it should put you above other people, but I mean, the game's not that hard, and so you only need to be catching a ground type just to deal with Surge. But I feel like he's very frail. Sandshrew can outspeed a lot of stuff, just because of how the games are. And even if he can't, he can probably take a couple hits, you know? It feels wrong, but it feels right, you know? Don't take that out of context. I like Diglett sprite better. So we're going to put Diglett here. B tier for Diglett. I could very well be convinced to put him right with Sandshrew, but I just can't in my heart of hearts do it. Persian. I use one in Gen 1. Auto crit slash is nice. Other than that, he's like Bubble Beam. I think I gave him Thunderbolt. He's okay. Probably around Clefairy. Better than Clefairy. Honestly, probably even better than Raichu. Because he has more type coverage, type variety. But he's not that good. He might be better than Squirtle just because Squirtle just uses fucking Surf. But I mean, he uses Surf, so gotta be S tier for sure. Psyduck. Unfortunately, so Psyduck's one of my favorite Pokemon. He's actually complete dog shit though. Even if you can get him early in like Platinum, he's so bad. The one thing to note about Psyduck, nobody ever talks about this one. He's one of the best HM slaves in all of Pokemon. By Gen 5, he's learning Flash, he's learning Strength, he's learning Dig, he's learning Surf, he's learning Waterfall. I'm damn near certain he learns Whirlpool, he learns Dive, he learns Rock Smash. He might also be able to learn Cut. I'm not entirely certain about that. And I think Golduck can learn Rock Climb too, but I'm not entirely sure. But that's like every HM besides Fly, pretty much. Even if I'm wrong about a couple of those. It's just about every HM or overworld field move that you could ever want. And honestly, I mean, I guess this is an in-game tier list. He is... The thing is, though, he doesn't learn a lot of these until, like, you know, Gen 4 and 5. Which is... I mean, Gen 4, the HMs are pretty bad, so he's useful there, but... You don't need an HM slave as much by that stage. I'll put him in S tier just for that, though. You know, he has use. And he is a water type. He does use Surf. He does use Blizzard. I guess this has no relevance to anything, but because you always have some use for him, and just because, I don't know, I like to have these traditions, I always catch a Psyduck and name him PSI Duck. And that's, you know, I remember my brother said that was a good name one time, and so I've always fucking done it. Speaking of which, I forgot, you have Pickup. But even still, it's not that useful in Fire Red and Leaf Green. I don't know if I'd change tiers for him, but he can give you the Hidden Power TM. If you want more Hidden Power. So he's not, you know, keep that in mind. Meowth with the Pickup. Mankey, so, like I hinted at earlier, this is another thing, like my brother pointed out, that once I noticed it, it is really actually kind of annoying. So Mankey, you get him, like, in that one early game route, and I think only yellow. Like, I don't even think you get him there in, like, red and blue. I might be wrong. I know for sure you get him in yellow there. But past that, you don't get him early in Gen 2. I'm not putting him in A tier necessarily. You don't get him early in Gen 2. You don't get him early in Gen 3. You don't get him early in Gen 4, 5, 6. I don't believe 7 either. Like, they hate this fucking guy, and I don't know why. They don't put him anywhere. And it is actually kind of infuriating once you realize that, because he's just never been given a chance, you know? Man, I have so many more Pokemon to do. I'll probably have to split recording sessions, because it's getting way too late. Um, but I mean, in yellow, if you're not using Nidoran, you're using Mankey for Brock. Um, I believe I used one relatively recently in like Fire Red and Leaf Green or Red and Blue or something. He's okay. He is a fighting type. In Red and Blue, that's not that good. But of the fighting types, of the like two of them, probably the second best. And you get him really early. And put him in B tier. He's all right. He's not too bad. He's all right. Growlithe sucks. Um, you would think he wouldn't suck. Intimidate, fast fire type. But what is he actually? He's actually a fast, non-stabbing dark type with his bite move. Using Bite or Ember for like most of the game. And for that, I'd probably put him near Vulpix. He's probably better in Red and Blue than in Fire and Leaf Green, which is where I've mostly tried to use him. If you want to get one in Gen 5, I think he learns Fire Fang pretty early. He's probably more useful there. But you're also dealing with Gen 5 power creep, so I think it kind of evens out. But he's probably still better in Gen 5. But he's not that good. Arcanine is good, but like it just takes so long to get him with good moves. B tier, C tier, yeah, C tier probably. Poliwag. I'm not sure I've ever used Poliwrath. Yeah, I don't think I have. I've used Politoed. I haven't used Poliwrath. I know he learns Amnesia in Gen 1, so I mean he's gonna be at least A tier. Amnesia Surf. Cool, man. Amnesia Surf, cool, man. Other than that, I mean, he's a water type. He uses Surf and Blizzard. You could, I guess, give him some type of fighting move. Probably not going to be as useful as your Surf and Blizzard, to be honest. So yeah, I'm going to keep him an A just because he gets Amnesia, but not that spectacular. I guess you could get him in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, but I've never used him in that game. Alakazam S tier, Gen 1, obviously Psychic. He's a Psychic type, use him. Gen 2, he's even better. He's using Psychic, he's using the Elemental Punches. He can carry your entire game. Probably better than any of these motherfuckers. Super good. Past Gen 2, though, he actually kind of isn't as good as you'd think he'd be. He's basically just using the Psychic, Focus Blast, and like maybe screens or something, like Shadow Ball and maybe screens. He can't learn Thunderbolt. I always think he can learn Thunderbolt. Can't. I think he can learn Thunder, actually. I know Gengar can. I'm not entirely sure Alakazam can. But he's just not that impressive past that point. Because Psychic stops mattering as much. And just having like 3 useful moves isn't very good. His defense is really bad, so that's always a weakness for him. He has a lot of overlap with Gengar, which I guess we'll go ahead and rank Gengar somewhere. There's a lot of overlap with Gengar because they're both fast special attackers with using Shadow Ball, using Psychic, using Elemental Punches. I still probably put Gengar S tier. Like I say, they're more or less the same. Even though their typings do differ a bit. So I've never used a Machamp, but I have used a Machoke. Actually, no, I've used a Machamp in Platinum. I didn't finish that run, but he's mid. By mid, I mean like kind of down here with the boys. C tier for him. He can do okay damage. He has good defense but terrible speed. He is okay. Victory Bell. I'm not sure when the last time I used Victory Bell was. I know I've used him. Auto crit Razor Leaf. I mean, he's basically just fucking Venusaur. He learns Cut and Flash. That's nice for him. Just for being Venusaur, he has to go in A tier. Well, no, but you get him later. I think you're going to B tier, buddy. I think you're going to B tier because you're past Brock, and gonna have to grind to use him for Misty. And you're going to beat tier here, buddy. I've never used him Heart Gold Soul Silver, but I imagine he'd be okay. Tentacruel. He is a water type. He does use Surf and Blizzard. He does have good defenses. Good mixed attacker. Decent speed. He's got begrudgingly. I gotta put him in A tier. I say begrudgingly because every time I've used him, he's been kind of underwhelming. But he has the tools to be good. I think he just have bad IV Tentacruels for the most part. You know, using Sludge Bomb or Poison Jab for grass types, he's alright. Begrudgingly, he's a water type, he goes in A tier. Golem, so I think the only time I've used a Golem is Heart Gold Soul Silver. I assume it would be largely the same in Gen 1. In fact, I know it's largely the same in Gen 1. So, Geodude is a Pokemon that falls off really fucking hard. Like, the further you get in the game, the less predictable movesets are, the worse Geodude gets. But, if you know your opponent just has something that's not very effective versus Geodude, or that he just has non-super effective physical attacks, you basically can't die. So up until you're getting to like level, or like badge 7, you know, past that point, Geodude's pretty much invincible. I think that earns him like high A tier. The fact that he falls off, like he would be an S for sure if he didn't fall off like he does. But he's pretty fucking good. He's pretty fucking good. And Golem can learn Flamethrower. Not that you'd ever want to use it, but when you're 6 and you're using someone else's Leaf Green save file and you notice that their Golem has Flamethrower, that's awesome. Ponyta, oh, Ponyta. So, you know, as fans of Super Skarmory know from his classic 2007 Pokemon Diamond playthrough, I believe this may have actually been his Platinum playthrough, because I do believe he did do both. Rapidash is really bad. He doesn't evolve until like level 40, and he gets no moves until that point. Fucking, like, I know the fire types so far have been like, they suck for most of the game, and then they get good late game, I will say. Yeah, they get pretty good late game. Rapidash sucks for an even longer time, and he only gets okay. D tier, fuck you. Notoriously the only other fire type besides Infernape in Diamond and Pearl. And he's fucking, like, even then, even if you were the last man on Earth, you couldn't get any, you know what I'm saying? He's fucking terrible. He sucks that bad. With no other fire types, he's still not worth using. So bad. Slowbro, number 1, me my, he's real good. Real bulky. I can't say I've ever really used him, so it's a little bit hard to put him in S tier. But he's really fucking bulky, and he has classic water type Surf and Blizzard, but he also gets stabbed Psychic. And, like, you know, Recover, Shadow Ball, and shit. His defense is really high, too. The one thing that I will note, that I don't think most people know, the difference between Slowbro and Slowking, you'd think Slowking would be like the sweeper, right? Because I always thought he was like the fast one, you know? But I guess slow is still in his name, so no, he's still the same speed. The only difference is they swap his defense and his special defense, and they swap like a couple moves. Like instead of Iron Defense, he has Nasty Plot. And no, instead of like, I think it's Amnesia is swapped with Nasty Plot. So in that sense, he's sort of the sweeper. But that's like level 40 something. So it's literally like, that's the only notable move. I think like 1 or 2 other moves to switch around. Other than that, they just switch his defense and his special defense. So, and honestly, I think the defense is more useful. And also, Slowbro's design is better than Slowking, but this isn't the Gen 2 video, so it is an interesting thing to note. Magnemite. He's fucking. Oh man. He's real bad in Gold and Silver, I'll tell you that. He doesn't learn anything except Thundershock until like level 40 something, where he gets Zap Cannon, which is still terrible. He does like no damage. He can take a lot of damage, but he does no damage. I know Magnezone's supposed to be pretty good, but like I've never used him, and he does no damage. But I mean, I know for a fact he's at least pretty good. It's just like don't use him in. Well, I guess Fire and Leaf Green, he's your only Steel type. So I mean that's A tier at least. Steel type's really good. Um, and I mean you can give him Thunder in that game too. So yeah, at least A tier for sure, for sure. Just I've had bad experiences with him. I don't even think you can evolve him into Magnezone in Heart Gold Soul Silver. I think you have to trade him over to Platinum or Diamond Pearl. I know you can in Gen 5, but I think Heart Gold Soul Silver, he's just Magneton. Farfetch'd. I mean, obviously trade XP and everything. I've never used him. He's probably pretty bad, but he got trade XP. He's got flying moves. Probably like kind of useful. I've seen someone use him for some portion of the game. He's like, eh. But that's in red and blue, of course. He's like, eh. I'm not gonna put him in D. He's not quite completely fucking useless for the entire game. But he's not good. Doduo. So I have used a Doduo before. You know, everyone wants to say, oh, he's like a better Figaro. Figaro, he's better than Pidgey, and Doduo, he's like a better Figaro. He's just late. I mean, yeah, he's a little better. He's a little less disappointing. I don't think enough to put him in B tier. He's still pretty frail. Let's see. I mean, if fucking Primeape and Clefable are in B tier. The thing with Gen 1 Pokemon is they all suck, so it's hard to say who goes in B tier and C tier. The one thing keeping me from putting Primeape over in C tier is that he gets cross drop. That's pretty good. Yeah, I guess he can stay in B. You're less disappointing than Figaro. You do your job, whereas Figaro doesn't at all. Begrudgingly, you're in the fucking useful tier. Seal. I'm going through all my Pokemon knowledge. Have I ever used a Seal for anything? No, I don't think so. But I, for whatever reason, want to say he kind of sucks. So I think I've used a Seal at some point. I mean, he's kind of bulky. He gets Headbutt. He is a Water type. He does use Surf and Blizzard. But when he's Dugong, he gets the Ice type, so his Blizzard is Stab. But you get him so late, you know. Like, if you want to use him, he's fine. If you want to use him, probably not A tier, probably B tier. Just for that Stab Blizzard. But you don't really, you should have a Water type by this point. You shouldn't be holding out till Seafauna Islands for any Pokemon. It's not worth it. Grimer and Mux totally suck. Very bad Pokemon. They're, like, not good attack, not good defense, not good speed, and just kind of sucks. Pretty much. Just sucks. Cloyster and Shelter, I don't think I've used, surprisingly enough, even though I know they're good. Ice type, Water Stone, Ice type, Ice Beam, Surf, big defense, very cool. I'll put you in A tier for that big defense. And for the Water Stone evolution, but you don't even need to level him to get moves. Just give him Surf and Blizzard, you fucking idiot. Just do that, doesn't matter. I really like your sprite, buddy. You wanna go up with Gengar? Cool. Onix, now everyone knows Onix total ass. And I agree, total ass. No damage. He does have big defense, though. Which is more like, you can make a case for using Onix for 10 seconds. You know, like get him for the Flying Gym in Gen 2. Use him for 10 seconds to eat tackles. Like anything that's rock type that you get early game is not ever completely fucking useless. So I'll put him bottom of C, but no, in my heart, he's a D tier. He sucks. Drowsy and Hypno, people like to make the case for them that they're like bootleg Alakazams. And they sorta are, but they're not very fast, and their special attack isn't that good. They're like A tier. And of course, you do have to use a Hypno or Drowsy. Very sad, but you know, if you just don't care about who you hang out with, let me check my OBS. Yeah, we're good. If you just don't care about who you hang out with, you know, what they've done, I guess you can hang out with Hypno. But I will not be hanging out with you if you hang out with Hypno, I tell you what. Kingler, do you ever even get a Kingler? Does that ever happen? I guess you get in good with Goodrod in Gen 1. Obviously, once he gets the physical special split Crab Hammer, probably pretty good. He's got like 130 or attack or something, so pretty damn good. You could use him in Soul Silver pretty reasonably. But, I mean, until then, I don't think his special attack is that complete garbage that you wouldn't want to surf Ice Beam in Gen 1. But, seeing as I've never used him for anything, it's really hard to justify higher than B tier for me. But he is pretty damn good. I mean, he's got that big attack, and that's really what you want to see. Big attack and big defense. Electro, total garbage. Gets no moves. He goes fast, but he has no good attack. Both stat-wise and move-wise. You could give him Thunderbolt, but he still sucks. Even if you give him Thunderbolt, that's all he's doing is Thunderbolting and like self-destructing. C tier. This isn't too ordered, by the way. He's like, he's somewhere over here. I don't know. Executor. Do you ever feel so bored? Where do you get them other than Safari Zone? Like, you never get them, basically. I can't say I've ever used one of these guys. They are Grass Psychic, and that's fun. They do use Psychic, and that's fun. Stomp good. Big defense. I'm gonna have to say B tier, buddy. You're going in the B tier, motherfucker. If you got him earlier in the game, you'd go in A, but you don't get him earlier. Cubone, one of the most meh Pokemon you'll ever see. If you want to get Thick Club, have fun, idiot. It's like a 5% held item rate on Pokemon that's not very easy to catch. And he's never found with high encounter rates, so you're going to have a terrible time. And even when you do get him, like that Thick Club, honest to God, still is not doing enough. He doesn't have good speed. His defense isn't very good. All he gets is like, he hits Bone Meringue early, which is nice because it's basically Earthquake, but with 90 accuracy instead of 100. That you get at like level like 20. So good early ground move, no TMs. So he's like, oh, he's fucking there for sure, man. He's a Pokemon. I used him in what's it called? Crystal Legacy recently without the Thick Club because he's a 1% encounter on that fucking Romac. And then like he's okay. He is okay, man. I gotta say, he's better than the rest of these B tier motherfuckers, though, because he does get that ground move. He does use a ground move, so he's better than the C tier guys. Hitmonlee, he uses Jump Kick. Actually, no, in Fire Red Leaf Green, he's using Brick Break. He is the best fighting type easily in Gen 1, though, with Gen 1 Jump Kick. A tier, he's solid. He's just, you don't have many other options is the main thing. Hitmonchan, obviously in competitive or whatever, or like later gens, where you never get him, he's good for the punches he gets. I guess you could reasonably like get him after the 7th gym in Soul Silver and then just take him through Kanto. So I was gonna put him in D for never having use. But I'm gonna put him in C for kind of having use in one game. I mean, obviously, if you got him early in a game with the physical special split, I'd be putting him probably in like S or something. But you just never have a reason to pick him in any game that he's in. Where were we? Lickitung. Sir. Sir, you're very fucking bad. Even Licka Licky is bad. It's very bad. We use one in Platinum. He's not good. He's not useless, but he's not good. Very hard to say if he's C or D. I'm gonna say because Platinum is like the only game where you're getting him, and he can even have any use, and even there it's still not good. He is gonna have to go in the D tier. But know that I don't hate him as much as these fuckers. Speaking of hate, Coughing's best use is Explosion. I mean, for that I'll put him at like, higher in D tier, but he's not fast, he's not good. He's very bad. Good defense, nothing else. Next. Right on. Never fucking used you, buddy. Rhyhorn's pretty fucking cool, though. I think he's probably good. I know the big issue is, like, Gen 1, I think even farther than Leaf Green, Rhyhorn's basically just getting, like, normal and maybe, like, some fighting moves. Really doesn't get a whole lot of rock or ground moves. Other than, like, the Earthquake TM or whatever. So he's kind of bad in that one. I think you can get him kind of early, like, well, not early, but, like, 7th gen bad. Like, you can get him Safari Zone and Soul Silver for sure. I'm gonna have to say... if he was ever in a game where you could get him kind of early and you could get a decent TM for him kind of early, he'd probably be pretty fucking good. But I just can't say there's ever been a game that I've played where you really give a shit about him. But for not being useless, he's going in C. I mean, Rhyhorn's good. It's just you never have a reason to get him. Chansey, ooh, what a weird guy. Do you like hitting with not very powerful thunders and blizzards and fire blasts? I think you can get Serene Grace, so you are statusing. I used him in Platinum once, many years ago, like probably at least 10, maybe approaching 15 years ago, and he was kind of good then, because Serene Grace, Blizzard, nice. But he's very weak, but he's so bulky that it almost doesn't matter. I'm gonna say C tier for you, buddy. And definitely not worth catching in the Safari Zone. Can I say he's worse than all these fuckers? You can get him in Platinum, and he is good enough in Platinum to go in B tier. Tangela? So I did use him in Platinum. Evolved him. He was alright. Mixed attacker, slow, bulky. Decent moves. He's alright. He's okay. Give him Earthquake. Pretty cool. Base Tangela garbage, but Tangrowth, he's okay. Kangaskhan. Mega Kangaskhan was probably my favorite Mega they ever made. Fortunately, that's post-game, and also, I don't really care. I want him, like, in my heart of hearts. Parental Bond, Power Up Punch, and Drain Punch make me laugh every time. But he's not, you don't get him, and also he's bad, so D tier. Horsey, can't say I've ever used you, buddy. Sniper Kingdra is funny. I believe you can get him with Old Rod in Gold and Silver. I think you can get him Good Rod in Red and Blue too. I think I kind of neglect the Good and Super Rods in Red and Blue for whatever reason. I guess I just usually have a water type. I'm using Squirtle or something. I'm gonna say water type. Uses Surf and Ice Beam and shit. You're going fucking B tier. He does have good defense. He's, if you can evolve him to Kingdra, the thing is you're getting the King's, like the item you need for it, usually pretty fucking late. I'm just gonna say, like, he can't go far above B tier. Tentacruel is just up there because he's so easy to get. Goldeen. Here's the quintessential water type that uses Surf and Blizzard. Is, you know, the not the exception that proves the rule. What's the opposite? The example that proves the rule? I don't fucking know. He has no use. His special attack is bad. His attack is higher, but he doesn't get good moves. He's fucking garbage in like every conceivable way. But he can use Surf and he can use Blizzard. So you gotta put him in B tier. He did like a Gen 1 shitty Pokemon run. That's why I used Machoke and not Machamp. Like I just had a bunch of shitty Pokemon and he was still okay. Because he used Surf, he used Blizzard. Starmie, can't say I've ever used you, buddy, but you do. Probably one of the best fucking Pokemon ever. Stab Psychic, Stab Surf, but with tons of speed. Still a lot of special defense. Thunderbolt, all these great moves. Awesome. Mr. Mime, you gotta go in. Can I put you in S? Just for the traded Mr. Mime and Fire Red and Leaf Green? He is using Psychic. He is using Thunderbolt. But he is going fast and he is using Psychic. He's like a worse Alakazam. But you don't have to trade for him and you can get trade XP. So, S tier still. Scyther. I'm gonna have to say S tier. Just for Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Caesar. Motherfucker's a beast. That guy's such a beast. Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Caesar with the Swords Dance. When you play Voltorb Flip for 20 years, the shittiest game ever. Play Voltorb Flip for 20 years. Get the Swords Dance. Let me tell you, buddy. In the run where I used him, I soft reset for like 20 minutes on the off chance I got a shiny Lugia, and I got a shiny Lugia. Of course, you get a shiny Lugia, you put him on your fucking team. I will always remember that's where Golem came off the team, because I was also using him. But even still, like, it was really hard not to just use Caesar, just to Swords Dance and fucking Bullet Punch my entire way through the Elite Four and just sweep entire teams with him. One of the best Pokemon ever made. Let me pause this. Okay, I'm back. I paused my recording, so we gotta get back in here. Jinx, you can get the traded Jinx for the Poliwhirl, but I've never used it. But he's traded. He uses Psychic and Ice Beam. It gotta be S tier, surely. Surely. Electabuzz, kinda sucks. Not very good. B tier. He's using his physical moves. He's probably fine. He's probably like really disappointingly fine. But he probably does use Thunder in some kind of physical move. So, B tier. Pretty much anything that's an electric type typically is going to get at least B tier because it's fast and uses Thunder. Magmar, better. You can get him in Platinum. It's one of the few fire types they added. Get him in the same area where I believe you get the Magmarizer to evolve him with if you can trade. I'm sure he's good. I can't say I've ever used him. But he do be a fire type and he do be okay. So he's going B tier with his brother. Pinsir, garbage. Very bad. No good move. No good bug move. But also just no good any move. Not very good. Good stats. Not good enough. He basically do nothing. Very bad. Tauros, garbage. Supposedly he's pretty good in Gen 1, but are you fucking catching him in Gen 1? No. You have a job. You're not catching him in Gen 1. It's not happening. And other than that, I mean, he's still not worth it catching in a Gen 3 Safari Zone either. Because he's even worse in that game. He's just not good. You're not using him. Get him in, like, Soul Silver. from the like area before the Safari Zone, and he's still fucking garbage by that point. It's too late for him at that point. Fucking terrible Pokemon. He sucks. He gets like Stomp. He gets nothing interesting. He sucks. Magikarp got be S tier. Probably the best Pokemon in the game. Best Pokemon in any game. Get him early. Get him Gyarados. Use attacks. Kill the enemy. You can use them in any fucking game you want. Anyone. Pick whichever one, as long as it's not Black and White 1. In which case, go fuck yourself. You're gonna have to use something different for once. Other than that, though, for if we were given points for how many good games they were good in, Gyarados would be like the #1 Pokemon ever. Lapras, I have used a Lapras. I used him in, I believe, Red and Blue. I used the Mew glitch to get a Lapras early. And he's pretty good. Stab water, stab ice, big bulk, A tier. If you have to get him later, he's still probably good. It's just you don't need a new Pokemon by that point. Although you could get him in Soul Silver with the Union Cave, and even then he's still pretty late. But yeah, just use the Mew glitch. There's a trainer like in that area that you can get a Lapras off of. It's probably the best use case for him. Even though like he's not busted doing that because he doesn't have a learn set in that game for that early. So he's gonna bounce by that. But he's pretty good. Ditto. D for Ditto. Eevee. We're not even gonna rank Eevee. We're gonna rank his evolutions. That feels more fair. Vaporeon, Water type, use Surf, A tier, use Surf, big HP, use Surf, Blizzard. Awesome, man. Jolteon. I'm gonna say maybe S tier. He's the best electric you can get in either Fire Red, Leaf Green, or Red and Blue. Very, very fast and very, very strong. So it differentiates him from Raichu, who is just very fast and fairly strong with a good move. This guy just does it all. He uses Thunderbolt, and he goes first. I'm tempted almost to put Raichu in A tier just for using Thunderbolt. I can't. The fact is, he needs at least one other move. He sort of has Thunder Wave, but that's just not enough. Flareon, as we all know, Flareon, dog shit garbage. He does have a really high attack stat, though, and he does eventually get fire moves in later games. B tier, he's okay. He's just bad in comparison to, like, Vaporeon and Jolteon, everything else you can be getting with an Eevee. But as a Pokemon himself, he's not too bad. He's got pretty big defense, too, decent speed. He's not so bad. Porygon, would you like to spend 9,999 coins for a dog shit Pokemon that sucks in every game it's in? No, I wouldn't. I would like to spend it on Thunderbolt, thank you. Ammonite, you're not getting him. But if you could get him, that rock type's not doing much for you. You just want to use Surf, man. He's pretty cool, though, so I got him S tier for being a cool guy. Kabutops, I've actually used one in Gen 6. I believe I got him in Wonder Trade or something. And what you'll notice, even by Gen 6, about Kabutops, is that his best rock move, let's see, what is his best rock move? I believe it's Rock Throw, up until level 40-something, where he's getting, like, Ancient Power, which is a special move, by the way. But so it's still really bad until you find the Rock Slide TM that's like 7 gym badges in. Until then, no good rock move at all. He's not getting Waterfall until you get Waterfall, which is always very late. Special moves, forget about it. He's not, like, he's a water type and he can't even use Surf, bro. What are you fucking doing? Get out of here. You suck. Good attack and defense and everything. Like, stats aren't a problem. Type's not too bad. He just doesn't fucking get any moves. And you always get him too late for that rock type to be clutch. Aerodactyl. I do believe I've used an Aerodactyl in X and Y once. I don't believe I completed that run, but I did use him, I believe. But again, I don't want to take that too into consideration. The only reason I take into consideration for Kabutops is because I know if his learning test is bad in Gen 6, it's fucking bad in every game. That's, when Pokemon have good moves universally almost. I guess you could get Rock Slide from the tutor in Fire and Leaf Ring, but you're getting him so late in that game, it's not even worth it. Aerodactyl, if you could get him earlier, maybe I would give a shit. The fact that you can't get him, like, ever, put him in fucking C tier. If you want to grind him up at Cinnabar, he's probably good. Use Rock Slide. Use Rock Slide, be fast. Good, but you shouldn't do that. Snorlax, number 1, me, my. Put him up here. Come on, Snorlax. S tier, baby. Let me tell you about this. Okay, big defense, big HP, big attack. Alright. Big body slams and shit. Okay. Amnesia. Your special defense is huge now. You can use Psychic, you can use whatever you want. Because your special attack has also been boosted a ton with Amnesia. Reflect for the defense, Gen 1 Reflect, even Gen 3 Reflect is not too bad. So he's even more invincible. I mean, he's just fucking invincible. One of the best Pokemon ever. Almost purely for how well he does in Red and Blue, but even in other games, he's still awesome. But the Red and Blue is where he's really busted as fuck. And you know what's weird? It's even in Gen 3, with like a minus speed nature. I was using him in Fire Red and Leaf Ring. He still outsped a lot of stuff, which is just weird. I know it's like EVs and level and everything, but I wasn't grinding, and he still outsped a lot of stuff where I expected him to always go last. Where are we at? Oh, the legendaries? Why is there shiny Dratini on here? I don't fucking know. The legendaries, Zapdos you can actually get pretty early. I'm gonna say with the caveat that you shouldn't use him. He is S tier. You shouldn't use him because he's broken, but you do get him pretty early compared to these other guys. You're not getting him. He's either in Elite 4 Victory Road, or you have to go to the shitty fucking Sevi Isles. I always just skip those outright because they suck. So you're not getting him, and if you did get him, he'd suck. Articuno, I mean, he's good, but you have to go to Seafoam Islands. I mean, I think you get Ice Beam or something there in the remakes. Not worth it. It's a whole route and a whole cave that you can just skip and be fine. If you want to go get him, I mean, fucking S tier, but you shouldn't go get him, is my point. Dratini, garbage dog shit, even when you're getting him in yellow. As far as I know, with a good rod. You're not getting Dragonite. That's not happening. You're using a Dragonair for a lot of the game, a Dratini for a good amount of the game, and neither of them are good. I've used one in Gen 6. I believe it was my first ever Pokemon that I got to level 100 was Dragonite. It was like a traded Dragonite. I mean, again, everything's good in Gen 6. I like Dragonite. If I can find an excuse to use him in the post game, I love him, but in the main game, you cannot find an excuse. He's dog shit. Mewtwo, you can just go get him and then go kill Red with him in Soul Silver S tier. You shouldn't do that, but if your team is, comprised of Johto Pokemon, I wouldn't blame you for doing that. In fact, if you were using, if you were going out of your way to not use Pokemon you've already used, like the starters in Johto, go get the fucking Mewtwo. He's not gonna win you the whole battle by himself, versus Red. Mew, you're not getting him. No, well, I can actually rank him. I did get the Mew glitch in yellow. He's pretty good. Not S tier. I mean, obviously he's really good, because his base stats are all 100. If you're doing this, you're getting him really early. But he's not having any moves for a long time, unless you want to siphon, the Dig TM and Thunderbolt away from other people that could also be using it and have less options than Mew. So obviously, like if you want to get a Mew and just sweep the whole game with it, use S tier. But I mean, if you want to just level your fucking starter to level 100, you can just sweep the game with that too. It's really boring, and it's just, I mean, Mew is literally cheating, getting Mew early. So I guess that's the fucking tier list. So let's look back over it. S tier is looking pretty solid. I can't say that I can necessarily vouch for Nidoran female, but it can't be that different from Nidoran. I'm not sure if I can necessarily vouch for Slowbro, but he should have everything you need to be a baller. Everyone else, yeah, pretty much S tier. A tier, I feel like should be a little more stacked, but let me see here. I mean, we're only giving him no A tier for Red and Blue. I mean, they're pretty solid A tier Pokemon, I must say. But let's see if we go down. I don't want to put Tentacruel in A tier, but like I say, like I just know he's good. Maybe if he's never actually been that good for me, he should still go in B tier. Because I've used him in a couple games. He's just never really impressed me. Diglett, I haven't used him too much. Like, just for fucking Dugtrio and the god, you know, let's get Dugtrio out here. Just because you can get that pre-evolved Dugtrio, I'll give him A tier. Raichu is the only other good electric type, I suppose, in Gen 1. For that, I'll give him A tier. He's Thunderbolt. He's pretty, if he's using Thunderbolt, he's pretty solid. He really is just missing a second move. So, fun fact, not a fun fact, but it's a fact. So I was playing that ROM hack I mentioned earlier, Crystal Legacy. It's basically a pretty vanilla touch-up of Crystal. And I had heard before playing it, and this is like the whole reason that I wanted to play it. I had heard they gave Raichu access to Surf. That was a lie. But I was, at that point, I had built my entire team around expecting Raichu to have Surf, so I just hacked him in to have Surf. And if you can hack him in to have Surf, or if I guess if you wanted to use Surfing Pikachu, although he can't evolve, but I think if you trade him to like Red and Blue, he can still evolve. That's a lot of work for fucking Raichu. But if he had anything else, like it doesn't have to be Surf. It could just be any other good move. He's so fucking good. Like with Surf, he's like one of the best Pokemon ever. He just needs something besides Thunderbolt. But as it stands, A tier is fine, just because you have no other options in Gen 1 other than Jolteon. I could see Kingler going higher, but I've never used him. Never heard that much great about him. Squirtle's really unexciting, but he is really reliable. I think he's better than these fuckers, so we'll reluctantly give him A tier. The rest of these guys, they do kind of suck, yeah, but they are kind of useful. I feel like Tangela is kind of cheating, because the rest of these, other than like I guess Zubat, are at least kind of useful in Gen 1, whereas Tangela is just dog shit until he can evolve. He does have good special attack, but like good special attack and defense, it's just not enough. Charmander is actually fucking horrible in just about every game he's in. Almost want to give him D tier just because you pick him in, other than Viridian Forest, the entire game's just fucking harder than if you just picked Squirtle. And you didn't keep Squirtle. Like Squirtle or Bulbasaur. They're good. They're nothing special, but they're good. Whereas Charizard just fucking, he's not good. I can't quite put him in D tier because he just get that slash and everything. Like I say in yellow, I gave him Fly just because, haha, you can do that in yellow. Can't in red and blue. He was okay there. It's more so when you're relying on him. Like when he's just some auxiliary team member, he's pretty good. But when he's your starter, he kind of sucks. So I gave him C tier. The D tier. That's a mighty fine looking D tier, I must say. Those guys do all fucking suck ass. Yeah, I'm pretty fine with that D tier. I guess I just get it all right the first time, other than Raichu. And Doug Trio, I guess. This is motherfucking an S tier, man. I don't know if I can say he's an S tier. Yeah, I mean, he doesn't win the game for you, but he is really good. So I guess that's it. That's the tier list there. Hopefully eventually I will do Gen 2. I'm sure I will. I mean, I feel like so often I think about doing a tier list right before bed, and then I'll just be sitting there supposed to sleep, just fucking ranking Pokemon in my head, so it's nice to actually do it for once. How long is this video? Too long, probably.